Welcome everyone.
Hello.
We are here today with Brandon from Massive Mini Team. Why don't you introduce yourself real quick?
Hi, my name is Brent Gibbons, and I'm lead game designer here at Massive Mini Team, creating Oddsparks.
Perfect, that was real quick, nice. So
Well
let's
done.
jump right into it. We are in a multiplayer session right now. There he is. I just said
Welcome everyone.
Hello.
I lost you. Oh, I hear myself.
I'm on the train. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. Nice. I'll join you, but I'm hearing myself double right now. It is already fixed. Perfect. Nice.
Thank you, Sydney.
Okay. Little starting difficulties, but we are riding the, I guess, roller coaster. Oh, you're driving it actually. So we're going backwards.
Yeah, I'm
Nice.
currently driving it so we can drive forwards, backwards.
Nice,
So,
okay.
I mean, we're doing this thing because it's the new update. It's update day for Oddsparks. We're having our first big update, Trains and Trades. So, obviously, we're going to start by showing off our beautiful new trains and all of the weird things you can do with it, like making this playing Roller Coaster Tycoon, essentially. But in
True.
Oddsparks.
I mean, this.
That's a nice throwback.
It is, and as you said, like this right here doesn't really serve any purpose. It's just for fun, and it's a small sort of demonstration of, I guess, one of the biggest parts of the update, right? Trains is like one of the main components of this update, which has
Yeah.
much more to offer still, but you know.
No, absolutely. I mean, we love trains in other automation games. We knew that it wasn't always needed to be in, and we're very happy that now it finally is, and players can just mess around, create an incredible, spaghetti train network, whatever they want, and mess around with it and have fun.
Yeah, definitely. The first thing I tried was building the longest train track that I possibly could and ride around the entire map, which again didn't really serve any purpose. But at the end of the day, it's a video game, right? It's meant to be entertaining. As long as I'm entertained, job done, right?
Time enjoyed wasting is not wasted time.
Exactly. So yeah. What is new? What is new in this update? I mean, I assume at this point that many people watching this will be aware of Oddsparks, will have heard of it, maybe played it themselves. The new update, which should be live right now, actually, whenever you're watching this. Give or take a few minutes, maybe. The first really big early access content update, right, for Oddsparks.
Right,
With the Trades and Trades update, we have put up the Steam news, so you can see everything that's on it. It is, I wrote it myself, and it's about 3,400 words long. There's a lot of information, and most of that is like, hello, this is a new feature. Please look at this different 1,000-word devlog about this feature if you want to find out more. Because at the moment, there's just a lot to go through and a lot to talk about.
Right.
I guess there's the first, obviously, is trains to go for like all of this sort of mid-network or like mid-range networks. But we also have lots of stuff like lots of stuff in the update. We can kind of go through it and go through the play and show people around like logic and all these sort of things. It's going to be really fun.
Yeah, I'd say let's do that right now. Actually, this is a sort of just a little fun area where not much is going on, but we can step outside the village where the real game awaits. And we can see a few new things already here. Maybe if I run around the south a little bit, there might be some new characters that we haven't seen before.
And it's Trains and Trades, so we have some new characters as part of the update, including some people who are, the traders. Essentially, there's some new shops, so you can actually talk to them and like unlock new sort of buildings and sort of items. Some of them are decorative, and some of them are, these are a new. New customizations for anything you want, including some very silly staff sounds and that kind of stuff.
They are silly but very fun as well. Yeah.
Such as the top stuff.
I enjoyed them a lot when I first found them. I was quite surprised.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure whether that's just the dev team messing around and like a placeholder, or whether that's gonna be actually in the game. But yeah, it's It's in the game.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Quickly check one setting here. I've been told by our director. Okay, this should be better.
Can we still hear Brandon?
We should be able to.
Can you say something really quickly, just to make sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello?
There we
Good,
go.
good,
Perfect.
good.
Perfect. Sound is great again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the trades part. With the trades, with the shop comes a new currency that we sort of glanced
Yes,
over here a little bit, but
yeah,
that's
I
a
guess-
big part of the update. From something that I've been wanting for Oddsparks personally from the beginning.
I guess
Many
the
players.
lead that we're burying with the trades update is that it's actually also a way for you to it's like not just a way for you to trash, but to recycle items. So yeah, you can put in items in this compressor that I've just built here, and then basically it burns those items, and now you have like an overflow mechanic that you can use. So now all of your production lines won't just be filled, but you can actually create something that has value later, and then yeah, you use this ether residue that you created to unlock some new cool things for your for your production line.
Yeah, that's pretty huge because obviously it's not really an issue to the game when a production line just runs full like this one does right here. It's not really a problem, I guess, but it feels great when something you've built early on that maybe you don't really need anymore or not as much as you did in the beginning doesn't just overflow and do nothing essentially. So you can just burn all those logs
because
that you
at
don't
some
need.
point it doesn't even overflow anymore. It just stops being productive in any way.
Just nothing happens
Yeah.
anymore. This is a good way to just keep those early builds relevant, I guess, and have them actually achieve something in the game.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a great solution.
And I guess the second feature, since we're kind of in this area and we're already seeing nearby, is we have these new sparks. We have one new spark in this update. It's called the Arty Spark.
Yes.
And basically, you throw them into this paint bucket, and now you have Arty Sparks that can color anything you want. So such as paths, buildings.
Yeah.
I love the sound they make.
Yeah.
And the point is essentially to create something that helps you with like organization, that helps you with also expressing yourself. Maybe you want something, you want a different kind, and there's also, we have turpentine if you accidentally colored something that you don't mean to.
Yeah.
And what's obviously very important is you can already see on the top right on the minimap, you can see what buildings are being colored. So this is super helpful, not just kind of to see what, like the color of the roof tiles and see all of the roads and see what part is of which line, but you can you can see it very clearly on the map itself, and you can see like, yes, I am in my whichever production area.
Exactly.
Or, you can also use it to just paint something silly, draw whatever you like.
Right.
On the thing that's also available for you as well.
Yeah, that's a very neat feature, and to help you get things organized, because obviously as the game grows, as your progression during a session grows, it gets crowded in certain areas, and you might lose, especially if like you don't play for a week or two and then come back to an old save game, you might be lost.
You're gonna be like Gandalf. I have no memory of this.
Exactly. What happened here? Anyway.
So exactly. The coloring spark is where we've in general with the feature we've added a lot of things to. It's a little bit of its own system. We're still figuring it out. But essentially, you need to also build a little production line to create the paint and to do all of these things. But the idea is that then hopefully you can have something that is also fun, engaging, to organize things, and you can sort of feel rewarded, when you're sort of finally have things organized exactly the way that you want it to.
Absolutely, yeah. And speaking of organization, I mean, this is where we get to the next big part of the update. This is just a little, appetizer, I guess, for what the logic system is.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess you can. So I'm playing on gamepad, but if you're playing on mouse and keyboard, you can sort of go into logic mode to sort of see the logic view
Yes.
to see the actual um, our new logic views, because basically like we now have logic wires. They exist on a layer underneath all of the buildings. Of course, some of them are buildings, so they exist on that layer as well. um, but basically, we now have with this sort of binary logic system that is kind of very familiar, I think, to a lot of people. Uh, you now really have like automation. Like you can really automate your way into having whatever system you want, create if conditions, and sort of this one is just very simple. It's just after a certain time you let different sparks through. So this way, you're creating a four-way crossing that can never actually block each other,
Yeah.
because at some point they because of the way that it stops here, and it's just controlled here by this signal timer. So you can open it up if you want, if you open up the UI. I think what's really nice in general about all of our logic stuff is we try to be very clear about how it works, because it is kind of a complicated topic.
Yeah.
So what we try to do is we try to keep all of the signal stuff very basic. It's just binary signals. It's just on or off, and then everything is complicated in kind of all of the complication. We put it in the actual sensors, or the thing that creates the signal, and we try to make that as clear as possible. So the signal timer, it's you have the two kind of thing where it's like, oh, send signal for, and then wait for, and then we have at this bottom a very, hopefully sort of a very plain text, like, okay, this is what it's going to do, and it also updates. So if I change the timer here, you can see the sentence at the bottom changes.
Yeah.
So you know exactly what's happening after you fiddle around with all of the settings. You can still just focus. Okay, let me read the sentence. Right, I know what should be happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And I think, as you said, it has to be approachable to anyone, whether they know their way around logic or not. And at the very basic things are sort of self-explanatory. You have the on-off switch, and that's what it does. Like it'll activate or deactivate something.
Yeah.
Exactly this one. But you can go as complicated as you like, almost, right? Like I've not hit the ceiling yet. In a different save game. This is not here, and it's not really necessary to show because it's just me playing around. I built a 4-bit counter, so basically just 4 lights that count to 16 and then start over again, which takes up a huge amount of space on the map.
But you can do it.
Yeah.
But it's
anyone,
possible, right? So
yes. For anyone who is looking at this sort of logic system, and maybe they're going like, ooh, and starting to dust off their computer science books, finding out about trying to remember what truth tables are. We have basically put in a bunch of logic gates. So I'm gonna put them up here since there's a little more space here. From sort of like our not and our and we try to also make them visually very clear and understandable, so anyone who's experiencing for this for the first time can hopefully understand them. But what's maybe very exciting for anyone who actually is a computer scientist or has that kind of training, or enjoys that sort of gameplay, we actually have set reset latches and data flip-flops. Which means that you can kind of you sort of have everything you kind of need to create a little computer if you really want to. So you can now finally sort of store information and do some very wild things. We expect, I myself, as like, I love logic in video games. I'm
Yes.
not I'm not great at them, and I think especially for Oddsparks, we really want logic to be like side by side. We expect with the path system and all of the other sort of networks that we have here, we expect people to create sort of very small, little kind of self-contained things that are useful. But we know, and I know that like the joy of this is in how wild you can kind of push it.
yeah.
So we've tried to kind of make room for the people who do want to push it as much as they want. We've had our playtesters for some reason create analog clocks, like even though you can very easily create a regular digital clock, but they want something that actually has 12 kind of numbers and all these sort of things. And yeah, but it should be hopefully something that's relatively easy to understand by people, something that people can kind of use to, something powerful that people can use to really up the automation in their saves and in their production lines.
Yeah.
And then if you want to play around, which I don't expect anyone to ever really need these gates to do
But
actual gameplay, but
yeah.
these are the things that I'm sure lots of people, a few people out there, will see and go like, oh yes, this is exactly what I want.
Right. Yeah. I mean, one great example for a simple addition to what this can do, we've got up here. You can automate the train stations, right? You have the train, it stops, it has to refuel. You might want to load up or unload some cargo. And then right here we have the sensor, this capacity sensor that tells the train station, okay, we've got 25% capacity loaded. Let the train leave once 50% has been reached. That's like one very simple example. And then on another train station, you might have a similar situation, but with fuel. Thank you for helping out. Something's wrong with the production line at some other point, obviously. But yeah, so once the train's loaded up, it'll start going. If it's fueled, it is fueled. That's great. But you could, in this case, for example, use an AND gate to tell the train to only leave once it's loaded and fueled. That's like one relatively simple situation where you might want to use logic. But you can also just skip all of that and set the whole thing on a timer, for example.
Yeah.
I think if anyone is listening to us and going like, oh, logic is a little scary, I want to use the trains, but without logic, you definitely can.
Exactly.
If I just build a lean train stop here,
Yeah.
so we can just take a look at its UI. There's like 3 different modes, like a timer mode, so it just stops and then leaves after X amount of seconds, whatever you want. A loading mode where it just, hey, are all of the wagons full? And an unloading mode where, hey, are all of the wagons empty?
Yeah.
You can kind of because the wagon loader basically allows you to load and unload at the same time. We want to have something where it's like, yes, this is for very basic use cases. We got you. This is how you can use it, but still have room for like, hey, I want to really like make something weird. I want to have something where it's like, yes, I want to make sure that everything is full and taking care of everything. And
Yeah.
you can do that with the logic itself.
Exactly. Same goes for the train tracks themselves. Like you can obviously split them up into multiple tracks, and then this sort of section, you can automate this as well. You can simply put in an identifier that tells the game that any train that has the same item identifier will use this sort of fork to the left, and any other train will go straight. But you can also just use logic to tell, okay, we need a train down at this station if, and then the thing will trigger. So you can go, as you said, you can go as simple or as complicated as you wish. But I'll just put this back down just in case, because we don't want any trains to get. Yeah, I don't want to mess anything up. Philip made such a nice save file here for us with all the new features, and there's already a little bit of decoration around. Like these arches are part of the decoration update, so
Yeah, we have the decorations are pretty fun. Obviously, you can we have like things that showcases items. We have things where just like arch or benches, and when we have also very fun things like unique things like this beautiful pond. But I think the most fun that I want to quickly show off regarding the decoration is this plant pot. They come in different sizes, and basically the thing that is with them is that you can like add a certain number of items. So if I just let me get some wood, I'll be right back.
Sure.
Get a few items from a nearby place. Okay, I guess that's fine. Now,
We've got some wood down here as well.
yeah. There's even some leaves and some stuff. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then if we put some logs in there, let me put one by one. So if you put 1 to 4 logs, they'll just be shown off kind of as a pile like this as the item. So maybe you want because maybe you want to show off the item. But if you put in more, then we actually have something different, like some objects. So stuff like grass, trees, and all of these things will actually now appear. So you can make your own sort of like little garden and make it sort of beautiful.
Right.
Yeah, or you can even showcase a spark to, make it look nice and
Yeah.
have lots of things with you. And yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty fun. My personal favorite, I think, is the clock tower.
the clock tower does look pretty nice.
Simply because, well, number one, you can attach it to a logic gate, so you can turn it on and off, and it actually shows the current time. I guess it's hooked up to the system time somehow.
Yeah.
Right. So, but that's pretty neat. It's obviously just a small detail. Doesn't really do anything, but it's just fun.
I do
Yeah, we
appreciate
tried to add a
small
little-
things like that.
Yeah, we try to add like stuff, when we can
Yeah.
to just make things more enjoyable. So yeah, like all of the lights, all of the decorative lights can be connected to logic for not for any particular reason, but just because it's nice, you can turn them on and off.
Yeah.
And I think and you can see with the clock it actually sort of offsets
Yeah.
it and just resets it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just nice to have.
Yeah,
to
it's
play
just
around with.
exactly. Not everything has to serve a purpose directly. Sometimes, some things
Just
are
like
just for fun.
Yeah.
Some things are
Part of
just
the
for fun.
family.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very cool. One thing that I really like as well, one new building that we've got is the spark thrower.
Ooh.
One of my favorites as well.
We've got one set
Over
up over
there.
here, actually.
Yeah.
We got it set up.
It's already done a lot of work. It's
golly.
already done a lot of work. So this one
Yeah.
essentially, well, this doesn't have a lot of sparks in it right now, but exactly. Essentially, whenever this sensor down here sees movement, in this case, the forest spunnies, it'll shoot out some sparks that will then go and murder those spunnies and collect their ether shards.
Yep.
Which is essentially automated ether shard farming, right, at this point.
Yeah, we wanted to create something. This was something that we wanted to fit in right in the beginning, but unfortunately it got pushed out. So
Right.
I'm very glad that we can fit it in now. Because yeah, like this automated spark thrower is so you can do things like automated shard farming in general, or like do a lot of different things. But I mean, it's just nice to be able to fill it up with sparks. So let's fill up. We'll have some slashy sparks here.
It's just plain fun as well, yeah.
And you can use this to clear up an area that previously that was busy, all these sort of things. And then yeah, you can connect it up with logic to do whatever you want with the actual thing, so that yeah, it only throws stuff when it should.
Yeah.
But it's already super useful for it to even just very dumbly sort of throw stuff at things, and yeah, and you can then gather things that you previously wasn't able to.
Exactly,
Or
yeah.
you weren't able to automate, but you can now do it a little much earlier in the game, and it's also great for some other sparks as well. You can our Lomi spark. Now you can throw it in and have like an automated farm in different ways as well. So yeah, people should try it out, and I'm sure there's lots of fun things that you can do with this single building.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
looking forward to
Yeah.
creations.
Yeah, definitely.
Automated murder is something I've been looking forward to, especially in Oddsparks. That's
Absolutely.
something that's been missing.
Absolutely. No, it's just a great addition, I think. It's especially a little earlier on, as you've mentioned, you can in the late game farm ether shards, or not farm, sorry, automate ether shards.
Yeah.
So that has already been part of the game, but
It takes a while to
it
get
takes
there.
it's in its current state. It's pretty late in the gameplay loop when you got that. So
It's very what's the word?
it just takes a while to get
It
there.
takes a while.
So this is really a nice.
It's kind of grindy.
Yeah, and this is really a nice in-between solution for that. And obviously, as you've mentioned, you can do many more things with the spark thrower. So yeah.
It's a little, as maybe they can see, it's a little messy, but
Yeah.
that's almost that is kind of intentional. We didn't want to create something that will perfectly solve this for you. The spark thrower basically like the sparks that is thrown by the spark thrower act exactly as if you were the one to throw
Yeah.
them, and that comes with a whole different set of problems when you're trying to automate the spark thrower and how that works. But that's part of a challenge that we want you to to try to solve yourself, because there's a lot of different ways to solve it, and we think it's a lot of fun to do so.
Definitely.
For sure. What else? I mean, there's so much to talk about. We've had a little update in between, with the
quality of life
few
stuff.
quality of life changes. I mean, that's not exactly new anymore, but maybe something worth mentioning for people who've missed it is things like you have now the big item slots, for example. You have sort of your own bin in your inventory, so if you want to just get rid of things, you toss them in the bin. That's just small things like that.
Something small that might be nice to mention, just because we're mentioning some of our new inventory shortcuts. We have added in the settings and in controls, we've added a few empty buttons. So we creating the controls for this game is not easy.
Right.
Unfortunately, there's just because there's so many genres that we're trying to fix, that we're trying to sort of tape together in one. And sometimes, you sort of run out of buttons. How do we kind of make things easy? So there's some things that maybe we haven't necessarily put into the game as a shortcut that we, as a default shortcut. But we've added a lot now onto our controls things, so you can actually create and add your own sort inventory shortcut, move to trash shortcut, so that you can sort of try some yourself and have something that fits for you. Because like these sort of games, everyone's coming in with sort of different ideas, where like some people are like, oh, this reminds, I really want to play this as if I was playing Factorio, or oh, I really want to play this as if I was playing sort of maybe an ARPG or something like that. They have sort of different ideas, and we want to make sure that everyone is comfortable and can like try out different control settings, and see which one sort of fits them best and play how they like to play. So that's something that we've polished a little bit for this update, and we'll continue to polish as we continue developing the game.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is definitely a good thing, because as you said, everybody has different looks for different things when playing a game like this, and someone like me, I really enjoy the move to trash button in my inventory, but somebody else might not care about this at all. So that's actually a pretty good approach, I think.
I have so I have one more thing. We've basically shown off our main features that's in our roadmap, right? So trains, logic, the shops, the decorations. There is one more that is on the roadmap that we haven't shown off yet. So maybe it's going to take us a moment. So we're going to show off the biome variations, and we're going to have to maybe walk all the way there. I think unfortunately I don't
might have to, yeah.
No, there's no active waypoint.
Yeah,
I see a way that I can vary.
No. But there are new individual waypoints that you can build yourself.
Yes.
So that's a feature as well.
I can.
We just didn't. Yeah, but there's new biome variations, as you said, and there is also one very big thing I would say is the copy tool as well.
We also have the copy tool that was not in that one.
That's pretty cool as well.
Alright, let's build an elevator.
Nice. So yeah, that does exactly what you'd think. It's you can copy and paste entire production lines essentially, or
It's
parts
still
of them anyway.
it's still a little new. I would want people to not try not just saw that try to not copy anything, any areas that are too big.
Right.
Mostly because at some point you might
Oh lord.
get uh, because basically it's a very dumb copy tool, and that works fine. Um, but yeah, like copying smaller areas will work out better than copying bigger areas. That's all.
Yeah.
So yeah, so yeah, now we've passed the mountains and we got into a new woodland looking area. This is actually so some of our biome variations. This is kind of a second woodland area. This bit in the center here is I would say kind of it's supposed to be the heart of your like this is a nice flat area for you to build on. So okay, here's one. Let's see if we can find some more because essentially the idea is that there's going to be some not just ancient bases but ancient supports. So
Yeah.
you have this central area that you can do and build a lot in, and the central area that you can, just um, you then don't have to worry so much about carrying stuff around. You can just go into one single location.
Yeah.
There's also going to be should go this way.
We gotta go around
There's also
further. Yeah.
some yeah. There's also some. Oh, let's go into the the unspawned area.
The placeholder
Yeah,
for what's next.
exactly.
You know.
Yeah, future biomes was gonna be who
There's
knows?
gonna be more.
Yeah.
We got a bit
I think
unlucky with
there's
our
yeah.
with our seed
But
here,
yeah, there's
yeah.
gonna be like fighting areas and all these sort of things. So we have biome variations. Let's just climb back up into the mountains.
Yeah, it's a good
So, yeah.
shout. Oh no, I can't. I'm not here.
Because you can't build in this
Yeah,
area.
I can't
now.
build on this area yet. Yeah, but we should arrive any second, right?
Yeah.
There it is. There we go. We're back. Yeah. I mean, these things are necessary, right? Because we want to keep safe games compatible with
new
newer
updates,
features,
yeah.
newer updates. Oh, there you are.
Yes,
Nice.
exactly. Yeah, I just walked around. So yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. The point of this, like, I'm sure people, some people have gone like, oh, what's this area? How come there's nothing in it? We have specifically kept it empty, so that you later on you'll kind of get to see. We can fill it out without needing to mess around with your save.
Exactly, and this what we're in right now has been such an area before, right? So
Yeah.
this used to be an empty area on people's save files, and here we
Yeah,
go.
exactly. So yeah, as you can see, we have some. We also have one enemy variation here. This is a juvenile elephant. They're a little stronger, a little more annoying to fight. But the idea is that they're actually not much more annoying to fight. The idea is that definitely they have less HP, but they have a swipe attack. So the idea in general is to create these new areas with fights that are riskier. So we're just gonna
Right.
put this down so you can see the two of them. Ah, nice. So and as you can see, here you go. There's like three different mantis stags. Let's see if we can get them to attack and show its new swipe attack.
There we go. They're more
Yeah,
territorial
so-
as well. Like these elephants are aggressive, right? Compared to the older
Exactly.
ones that you find. Oh, this
Yeah.
one's taking a swim. Okay. That's
I
fair.
love
That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, let's
Good on
how
him.
do we have these biome variation areas
Yeah.
that basically give you just a bit more room to play. We kind of give you more. We have these combat areas so that you don't have to like look around for enemies to fight as much, and to give you this like sort of riskier fight but then that means you don't have to wander around and wait for things to
Exactly.
respawn or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's kind of the big ones. And yeah, we'll continue adding. We're already working on the next update, and we're already working on like what we're gonna add and more biomes and these sort of things. This is just kind of a taste of. This is mostly just a remixing of our existing assets. There's nothing new here, but we wanted to create more space for the players to build, more space so that for the players to find enemies a little easier. And last but not least, more space so that there's also somewhere a nice forest with lots of giant trees, like way
Yeah.
more than you've seen before in one area, so that players can have like sort of these central areas of like, okay, I'm gonna pull from here and then build here, and use the train to really carry out that space.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's on the other side probably of this particular seed.
Yeah.
Talking about seeds, you mentioned in one of the Steam updates that there's a flat seed as well to try out some things.
We do, since we at some point we do want to create a proper world generation sort of system where then players can change how the map works, how they want to build, and all these sort of things. But for now, we haven't found the time to properly do that yet. But for now, if you really want, you can sort of play around. No promises that there's no bugs,
Right.
since it really changes, since it changes everything.
Yeah.
But if you type in the word flat in all caps, it will create a flat seed.
Yeah.
And it is basically the same game, but there is no elevation. We've tried to make any sort of any quests that require you to build things that require elevation to like auto complete and all these sort of things. But yeah.
Like I say, it's not recommended for a first playthrough for sure.
No, you should sort of
Please
continue.
don't.
You should,
But,
play the game as maybe it's sort of a little bit intended. But
Yeah.
we know that a lot of people have already played hundreds of hours of Oddsparks,
Exactly.
which is really
Yeah.
like very heartening. But like so then they want something that's a little bit different. They want to sort of more play around and mess around, and that's what this is for.
Yeah.
To just mess around with. All right, I think slowly but surely we're getting back to.
Yeah. I'll just jump back to the like center waypoint to quickly show off the copy tool that we talked about.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Where's a good thing? Like I can just take, I don't know. Let's just take this. Well, only the train station might be a bit boring. Let's take this train station because there's multiple parts to it, right? So I just open up the copy tool, select whichever area I want to copy, and then I can place that whole thing down. Depending on where it fits, I can just put it back down, and I have an exact copy of that train station.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty neat feature.
Especially because it copies the currently set and selected recipes and all that fun stuff. Then you don't have to fiddle around with it anymore. Once you have a system that works, like a setup that works, you don't have to set all that again. Did you just leave the session, Brendan?
Yeah, I think I accidentally
Oh no!
left the session. Don't mind me. I'll come
Aw.
back.
Okay.
That's fair.
As
That's
I
fair.
can.
No
I mean,
worries.
So yeah, I think that's pretty neat.
Yeah, and I think like the main use case, at least in my mind, will be the basic sort of early production lines that you get.
Yeah.
That you might need multiples of throughout the world, but
like the multiple production steps of making wood and
exactly
all that.
like planks, and so that way, if you have a good system, you don't have to manually copy it every time because that just takes a lot of time. Obviously, if you want variations of what you have, you still need to work on that yourself.
I think especially if you're messing around with path add-ons and you've created something kind of a little bit complex, and you now like have it, like yes, it works. Now you don't have to sort of you can just copy and paste. It works very easily and it's very nice.
Yeah, that's a pretty big thing. We also something to mention, which is not really a feat. Well, it is a feature, but it's not really.
It comes like it's part of safe game compatibility.
Exactly, it's the lost and found area for people who have played the game and will continue their save game from before. With the new update, they might stumble over the lost and found area in the village, which serves a pretty simple purpose. It is well, we've talked about the RT Spark, right? There's a new kind of spark that comes with a new sort of shrine, as all the sparks do. And I guess the reason for this lost and found area, so this shrine and I think 1 or 2 paint buckets will spawn in the village down at the player's house, which is
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
assume because we want to stop the game from like overriding something that's been built or
Yeah, to basically
Yeah,
break
basically,
anything.
we want
Yeah.
we want to make sure that because we were considering how we wanted to do this, and we were thinking like, hey, we could try something out, but then if it we just did not want to accidentally delete anyone's save or part of anyone's save. We
Right.
just could not be sure that there was something there. So we ended up just like, okay, what if we just put it at home, and make it a little bit simpler and easier, and then when they start a new save, then obviously it'll continue as normal. But if you're playing on an old save and you need to look for the Artispark, maybe for a quest, then it's right at home. You can just go there and get everything that you need from there.
Exactly. And otherwise, as you said, if you start a new game, you'll be finding the Arty Spark Shrine like you would any other Spark Shrine.
Yep.
Yeah. Is there anything we've missed?
I don't think so. I mean, we've been going for this for about 45 minutes, and I'm looking at my own like the thing that I've written. Like, did I?
Yeah, I have
else?
some notes here as well. One question, actually, I'm not sure about this. Maybe you know. One question we got on YouTube right now was, will the PlayStation demo have these updates as well with the new features? Probably not, right?
So at the moment, we have our demo on PlayStation and Xbox Series SX. We're not doing early access on the consoles at the moment.
Exactly.
But when our game goes to 1.0, and we're doing early access, so for roughly 1 year, so I guess you can kind of expect the 1.0 to be around spring 2025. We still need to obviously we'll update you if anything changes, but that's kind of at the moment our plan. And when so around spring 2025, when the game is at 1.0, we will put the game up on PS5 and Xbox Series XX properly, and you'll be able to play. And that version will definitely have the trains, the logic, everything that we've shown today, and everything that will be added into the game later. But we're not planning to further update our demos at the moment that is on the consoles.
Right. Right. The demo serves its purpose as it is right now, and anything
yes,
else.
I mean, we've it is very lovely where it's like we have some people kind of joining our Discord, and sort of saying like, hey, we've played the demo, it's really great, when can we get some more, and all these sort of things. And obviously it's a bit of a shame where the only thing we can say is you'll have to wait, sorry, or please play it on PC. But I guess we take that as a good sign that you did very much enjoy the demo and you enjoyed our game.
Right,
and we'll, as soon as possible, we'll provide you with more, and you can sort of play, take care of and enjoy the full game soon enough.
Right. So yeah, as he said, the demo will remain as it is, and obviously the real released full game will have all these features on all platforms.
Yes.
Perfect.
The only other thing that is maybe fun that we can just that I'm gonna very quickly show off now is that we do have a lot of new customizations, including this very silly tree.
Yeah.
So I can sort of hide.
You can really hide quite well.
I'm just a regular tree. Don't worry. But yeah, we've added a lot of. So if you go to the character editor, we've updated it a lot with a lot of different things, a lot of new tops, patterns, bottoms, shoes, and everything, including the new staff sounds. Previously, you can only have one, but now we have a few now, and you can sort of have different ones, different melodies, maybe for different flute melodies, or just different. What's the word? Different instruments entirely, but with the same melody. And that's also something that we've added into the game for the Trains and Trains update.
A lot of which you'll have to unlock, obviously, either through the shops or through achievements.
Yes, and we've also added a lot more achievements. So you'll need to figure that out as well. We added 22 new achievements here for trains and trades.
Right. And now that I see the royal sort of necklace, maybe it's
That's true.
worth mentioning the supporters pack.
Yes, we're currently we've heard from a few people that they really love our game, and they want to support us further. So we took just a tiny amount of time to add to that. We're creating a supporters pack. It's going to have a few kind of basically 3 pieces of the character editor, like a if I'm correct, like it's a top pattern. No, it's like a top. So
Top
and
type,
a
yeah.
brooch and a head decoration. And not only that, you also have some decorative buildings, which includes these spark statues, just to sort of like showcase our thanks. And um, if you don't buy the DLC or this supporters pack. We call it a DLC because obviously it's downloadable content, but it is a supporters pack.
Yeah.
There's nothing in here that you need to buy. You also will not see it. We don't want to create like a FOMO situation where you see it in the build menu and you're like, oh, I wish I have that. This is just for people who have told us like, hey, we'd love to support you a little bit more, and just basically as a small piece of thanks for helping us out and help kind of helping us out sort of monetarily so we can continue making Oddsparks and creating our game.
Can I just point out that those pillows, they look so comfortable. I just want to lay down on them. Like, they look so smooth and velvety.
They do.
I love it.
Yeah,
they do.
It's a nice little effect.
Very royal.
I also love that they're even animated, like the tassels.
Yeah.
I do appreciate those details.
But yeah, it's all cosmetic, obviously, and it's just decorations.
Yeah.
So, that's just something to mention.
Yeah.
If you want to support the team, feel free. But if, you're not missing out on anything. If
We don't. We explicitly don't want you to miss out on anything.
Exactly.
It's just for fun.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool. I think that's everything.
That's everything. I'm really excited to see what sort of amazing computers people will be building within Oddsparks.
You can do so much.
Will it run Doom at some point? That's the main
look
question. In theory, I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
We've kind of, like, within our QA department, we've been kind of MacGyvering.
Definitely.
Kind of building automated spark bombs. It's fun. You can do anything, really. Like you've built like this countdown or
exactly. I've built a clock. Like I've used. I can't tell you exactly how many, but I've just put down a lot of these counter gates. And built a giant sort of counter, I guess, that just counts up infinitely, and we've calculated that it'll reset in about 3.5 billion years. So obviously that's again something that doesn't serve any real purpose, but it's just fun to play around with things like that.
Maybe you wanna put in. You can even with these counter gates, you can chain them together. So then, if people want, you can start making a clock, for like, oh hey, how much time have I been playing Oddsparks?
Right.
That's possible. If you really want.
You can.
I mean, it's not like Steam counts the time for you. But
it's not the same.
It's not the same. You can also put a lot of effort in it. And do it yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. These are just things that you can have fun with. But again, if you want to, in theory, if you want to have something happen every 100 seconds, there you go. That's the thing you can do. Or every 3.5 billion years. That's up to the player.
Sky's the limit.
Your CPU is the limit.
True. True. I guess.
Either or.
True. Yeah, and maybe the average human lifespan as well. But lots of fun to be had.
Yeah.
Thank you all for watching this. Enjoy Oddsparks. Let us know what you think, obviously.
Please
We're looking for feedback at all
Please
times.
share all your crazy creations of automation.
Yeah, that'll be really interesting to see.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely. We really look forward. Please join our Discord. Come show us your horrible spaghetti of a train network. Show us your weird logic constructions,
Yeah.
your beautified base, everything that you want.
Yeah.
Please show it off to us. We love to see it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you, Brendan, for your time, for showing us what's up. And we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
And enjoy the Trains and Trades update. Until next time.
Bye.
Have a great time.
Bye.
Bye.